Hello, everybody. How's everybody doing tonight on this fine Sunday? I am really looking forward to this live. I have Molly backstage. I just want to say hi to everybody real quick. Angelica, thanks for becoming a new member. MTT, Sheila, Mary B, Ruth Ann, Positive Paula, Amy, Ellie, J Freak. And I think we're good. All right, so I have Molly backstage. I'm going to bring her up in a hot minute. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this. Let me start the intro and then we'll get to business. And I also set the chat to subs for 10 weeks, so it's not just members only anymore. Okay. Let me find. I really have to clean this out. Addie, you keep telling me to do it. When I can't even find my own intro, there it is. Miss Molly, welcome back.
Hi.
It's really good to see you.
I
am wonderful. How are you?
I'm amazing. Just at home in my office working. I'm so great.
You look really good. You lost a lot of weight, girl.
Yeah, well, you know, when you I always say when people ask me,
not that you didn't look good before, I'm just saying like you look good.
Well, it's kind of funny because a lot of people come in the store and they'll say, "What did you do?" And this is always my comment: if it's white, it's not right. Don't eat the white stuff. You know, like you really have to cut out things. And I started supplements. Like you have to do the work. So, you know, contrary to popular belief that I guess I was in Mexico getting gastric sleeve and taking over that. It couldn't possibly be that I go to hot yoga and I didn't eat pizza.
Rumor has it. And Amy's saying that you look really great. Everyone's saying in the chat that you look amazing.
Oh, thank you. Well, you know, I am an emotional eater. I always have been. So the fact that I'm not now a candidate for like reality serial, reality star, TV, whatever they say, because I don't give a damn about that. I like to look at the stars and pray to God, but I could be on my.
You never got a sleeve. You never got a sleeve in Mexico or wherever else, and you're not on Ozempic or like, you know, this is good old fashioned work.
Put the fork down. I'll put the fork down. I did. Like, what the fork? That's what
I love it.
What the fork?
I love it. I love it. Perfect. So I think the last time I had you on was when you had that unfortunate crotch shot on the last resort that wasn't like, remember that when you came
where people said I wasn't wearing underwear. Yeah. And they were like virally posting Molly showed her box. Out what's in Molly's box.
I think I said that.
Well, listen, if I was like a lot of other people, honey, I might have set me up one of them sites and shown people what was in my box. But unfortunately, me and God, and that's not unfortunately, but we had a chat, honey. I'm not doing that. I don't have one of those, and I'm not going to. But I don't blame people who do. Get your coins, girl. That's what this is all about, right? Get your coins.
Well, half the cast is on OnlyFans anyways. So
and that's fine. They can do that. I work on every day that ends in day. I'm a hustler. Job since I was
wrong with hustling.
I'm working. You know, we work. I'm not mad. Get your coins, girl. I just can't do it. That's just not my thing.
I mean, I couldn't do it either. I feel like you have to sell like part of your soul to Satan to like do. I just couldn't do that. And I've been down and out and desperate. I would. And no shade to the people that are, you know, they have much more self-confidence than I ever will.
Well, if I had stayed in that lane, then I probably could have. I mean, that's kind of like being on a reality show. You do sell part of yourself.
But with your girls, I think you would make probably millions if you did it.
Where do I sign up?
I don't know, John. Without these fabulous bras from Livy Ray, they look like beagle ears or bowling pins. So when you lose a lot of weight, the shape changes. Trust me.
Well, speaking of Livy Ray, I love Molly so much. Speaking of Livy Ray, what if you've been kind of quiet since the last resort ended? What have you been up to?
So I really didn't have anything else to say about that. I am hyper focused, which is really why you reached out to me, because you saw I was going to be in New Jersey. And, we've always chatted here and there. And I thought, you know what? You probably know people in your area. Why don't you come through and come see what I'm all about? Because I think that when you get me in the flesh and who I truly am, and you can witness the miraculous transformations of these bra fittings, and the women that come there leave transformed. And Let Us Lift You Up is real to me. And the bra is the catalyst that gets them there. So I have been truly, truly focused on what my calling is in this life. And that is to help women, men, people that are going through transitional changes with their sex, whatever it is. I've always had a judgment-free space, and that's how I conduct myself in there. So I'm excited. I'm working with the ladies, and not for nothing, this show has brought so many people to know that I do bra fittings. I always have. I was born to do this. So that's what I've been doing, just really diving in with my kids, with the business, working with other business owners. There's a lot of people that were on that cast that have businesses. I'm in the underwear business, so I had conversations with Kobe and Emily about his underwear line, and I referred him to some manufacturers. And Yara's hot. She lives in Miami. So does a bra brand that I know down there. Pal is now in WOW for, the women.
Right. Like, that's really impressive.
But she sews, so she can make her own thing. But my whole family's in wrestling. So there's a lot of different 6 degrees of separation that can come in when you are business minded and you want to work with business owners and do things. There's a lot of people that I, want to support, because if you are a business owner and you've had a TV show, you should be leveraging all of that, good or bad, for your business.
I don't know if you watch Housewives, but every housewife, pretty much almost like 90% of them, has their own brand. And look at Bethany Frankel with Skinny Girl. They promote their brand on the show, so why shouldn't you guys promote your brand?
I mean, I just saw a post with Dolores where she was advertising for the Fab Over 40 competition.
Right.
Last year or the year before, someone nominated me for that. And it was awesome because it is a cause-worthy campaign, and the proceeds go for breast cancer. And that's something that's near and dear to my heart. So they paid her, I'm sure, to do that ad. And then her very best friend, I think she's the godparent of Amanda Jean, who's in Brooklyn, that owns a boutique, who knows Jen from Dolce, who...
Oh, we all know Dr. Jen.
You know what I'm saying? And Dr. Jen gave me services in exchange for posting. So when you...
tonight at Dr. Jen.
Yeah, we spent the weekend with her.
I love her. She's fantastic, and she is a boss. That woman is a businesswoman. She talked to me about, surgery garments and helping her clients, and I brought her, and she was like, "Holy shit!"
Let me backtrack for a second, because I think it's important for people to know, like what you just said. You work for, you post for Dr. Jen, and you promote her business, and then on the other side, Dr. Jen, gives you work. It's not like you're paying for it, right? People are saying, oh, look, how could you do this and then have this treatment done?
Oh, no, I haven't paid her one dime.
Yeah.
The only thing I ever did was buy a lipstick when she partnered with Ashley, who was with Jay from the show. you put it in, you get it back. You put it in, you get it back. But it just so happens that my entire life, I've been very good at connecting with people and promoting people's business. And a lot of times I do that for nothing, because when you bless people, your blessings will come back to you tenfold. And sometimes it's not about the dollar transaction, it's about honest exchange. Because in that situation, obviously there's thousands of people who do Botox, right? But
Right.
are you getting it done with an overnight person? Are you getting it done with a doctor, a professional, a very highly skilled and trained person? So, but for me, every woman that walks through her door needs a bra. Every person that she knows. So when she experienced that and brought me up there to New York, we just started chatting about it. And
Well, it's like, you're both scratching each other's backs. It's a mutual, like,
yeah,
networking type of thing where you both succeed in the collaboration.
for sure. And you can do that with a lot of people. I have brands that I do stuff with, and I've had brands that came to me that I said absolutely not, because I don't believe in your product. And
Right.
I'm not just, and I didn't realize that in the beginning of starting stuff like this, because someone says, oh, this person's going to send you some tea, for example. Somebody sent me some tea and I like the tea. I didn't realize, and I did lose some weight from drinking the tea, but it wasn't weight. It was colon weight. No one wants colon blow. Like, no. And so I didn't do that. And then there was some other company that sent me something. And when I mixed it up in the drink, I was like, oh, crap. I don't like this. I don't think it works. But I didn't realize that my talent manager and the agent were like, you got to do this. And then I was like, I don't want to do it. I'm very open and honest.
Are you going back to the last resort?
What's that?
What you're just saying now is that like what you're talking about, like the last resort, like, the last season you were on?
No, I was just talking about like being given promo products, or people saying, hey, if you do this as an influencer, they have contracts. And I'm like, I don't care if you want to pay this much money. I don't want it, because I'm not going to be selling and promoting things that I don't believe in, because then there's no authenticity to my page myself. Like, I don't want to do that. So I'm not going to. Just because somebody sends me something and wants to be, a couple $100, that's not worth it to me, because I want people to believe in what I'm selling. And I sell bras that are damn good, and I sell lingerie, and I sell experience. So I'm going to be in your backyard.
To Molly's credit, she sent me a whole bunch of pictures of, different sized women. Because I even asked Molly, I'm like, do you just cater to, like, the bigger breasted women, or like, do you work from an A cup? And because I thought that, like, she just did, like, big giant jugs. I'm sorry. But can you explain on that, Molly? Like, who you cover?
We
like
go
what sizes?
58A to 52O. Makes me look like bee stings. And for I'm a 34 HH or J, which on a D scale is like 6 Ds. So most people know D or double D, but we fit anyone. And I'm currently working on a custom project for a gospel singer in Virginia who's outside of the scope of that. And I just did a specialty garment for a cancer patient. So it's anybody and everybody. If you want me to build boobs, I mean, we can do a full throttle build the boob, and I have prosthetics.
So if you're like, if you're flat as a board like me, like, if I had an A cup and I wanted to enhance my size without plastic surgery or like getting a boob job, can you make that magic happen?
Oh, absolutely. And now I'm fully accredited, because when you are focused on what you're supposed to be doing in your life, all the things that were just sitting out here, not boiled over yet, come to fruition. So this past year, I passed all my certifications, my accreditation. So I am a fully certified and accredited durable medical equipment facility. So I can bill on people's behalf through their insurance. And I'm working on taxation to do it in every state, so I could do it like
wow. So people that maybe can't afford like, a bra that fits them correctly can use insurance and go through you to?
No, that's only for people that have had cancer or they have extenuating circumstances. It's something that you have to have a prescription for. But I will tell you this, I've given away bras to a ton of people. I can assess a situation, and people write me letters sometimes. And if I feel it in my spirit to move accordingly, then I do. Because I couldn't imagine being my age, because that's what brought me into this really, and being very full busted and coming from a home where maybe you didn't have a lot of money and no resources. And I feel it in my spirit sometimes that I need to help. And I just actually did help someone in New Jersey, a young girl. She's adopted from her grandmother, biracial. The mother's shit the bed or whatever is gone, and it's like, I felt that because that was me. That was that young girl who hated herself and had really big boobs, and I had nothing. So I don't blast that on the internet. I don't have to, because I'm not here to let people see all the work that I do, or the boards that I serve on, or that once every quarter I do bras, brains, and beauty for inner city youth that have been displaced by their moms and they don't have it, or that I serve at, the City of Refuge. I just left there a few months ago, and those women come there with nothing. They leave in the height of the night. They're domestically abused, or they're running and hiding from someone. And when you leave your house at the height of the night, the last thing you're thinking about is grabbing your bras and underwear.
Right.
And so I've worked out partner deals with the brands that I carry, that when their sample season is over after market, they send me stuff. And if they have stuff left over seasonally, they'll send it to me. That way these women can get brand new undergarments, because you cannot donate used panties. That's just a no. So I work with a lot of people to be able to provide this. And it makes me feel good, because I know that that's what I'm supposed to do.
Hold on, let me ask you a couple questions. This is a good question from MW. Have you dealt with double mastectomies and or a single one, and how to fit?
Oh, absolutely. It's
can
a
you
visual.
walk me through that? How do you to women that have had that happen? That's an interesting question. Thank you for asking it, MW. How do you go about that?
Well, when women come in, I typically can tell if they've had if they say I've had breast cancer. I can look at them 9 times out of 10 before they ever take their shirt off, and I can know which side they may have had a single breast removed, because you can tell. There's asymmetrical dimension with that. So I'm able to see what I need to do prior to their shirt removal. Sometimes, though, when they take it off, it's something like you wouldn't believe. And I'm able to go to my back room. I fit them for a bra, but then I fit them if they need to have balance with a silicone prosthetic that's either a full or a partial or a piece. And if they're older, then I might just have a puff, and it's made out of swim form that I put pillow fill in, so that it's just enough to balance. And if they're older, they don't want the weight. But I can do that.
Question. Hold on, because Cody's mom had a double mastectomy, and breast cancer, and she never got. She just, she was like, screw it. She's been fighting. The cancer keeps coming back, and at one point she's like, I don't even want breasts anymore. Can you, give her if you make her a bra with breasts, can you do something like that?
Oh, absolutely. There's bras that have pockets in it, and all we do is just put a form fill in. And what I do is I look at the shape of their hips. I look at how wide their chest wall is, and I go and get and then I ask them if they want to be much fuller or they want to look natural. Because some people are like, oh, give me porn star boobs, or it really is all about balance. What size breast should, if you were in perfect proportion, what size would they be? And I have the eye for that. I always have. And my background is, well, it was in music, and then I left and went to fashion school. And my background is in custom swim. So I know the body and the shape, and I've been doing this so long, I could do it with my eyes closed.
Yeah, like my mother-in-law, she struggled with cancer. You know, she had breast cancer. She had to get the double mastectomy. Now she's fighting stomach cancer. So it's, you know, and I always ask Cody, you know, I'm like, does she want, you know, because she's, you know, she had big breasts, and I couldn't imagine how hard that is for somebody, you know, and it's nice knowing that like you could structure them without surgery, you know, so if you go out, you feel more confident in a dress or whatever. You know what I mean?
I've been able to do that a lot. And the other thing I'm able to do is create the experience. It's very spirit filled in those rooms. I have the gift to be able to cry with women, hug them, know what's going on, and share their journeys. And I'll tell you, that is the one thing I will say that I'm so grateful for. Having had so many trials and tribulations in my life, I am grateful, because if I hadn't been 40 years old and not married and looking for love in all the wrong places, and that didn't work, or, you know, have two children with two different men, like, it might be to some of these people and a lot of these people who want to dissect your story based on the things that they do know that are true, but they don't know that that is the fuel that I need, because if I hadn't been through these things, there's absolutely no relatability to anybody if you haven't been there, done that. You know, growing up, my dad used to say, you should open up a humane society because you take in all the strays. And I'm like, well, if that wasn't what I learned from you making me sit in that church every Wednesday and every Sunday, then it was pointless. You know, I'm from Georgia and I have mixed kids, and I got a gay cousin that no one wants to address, you know, and I love gay people. Like, I'm that person, like, be yourself. And if things go awry, what do we do to fix it, right? We can. But, like, I'm never going to not stand up for people like that. And that's why I have a lot of trans clients. And
You
just
have a
last
big
night,
heart. You really do. You
just
have
last
like one of
night,
the biggest
we
hearts I
had
ever saw.
a bachelorette party. And the person that spent the most was a fabulous gay boy, you know, and he was sashaying in my pajamas and he looked good. And he just messaged me on Instagram and was like, these are the most comfortable pajamas I've ever owned. And he was
Wait,
grateful for
Molly.
this place.
Let me cut you off because there's so many people in the chat saying, you know, JJ here. I've yet to find the perfect fitting bra. They all suck. Help, Molly. Barbara M is saying, I'd love to see Molly so tired of ill-fitting bras. How can you?
I'm going to type in your chat right now the website, and they can go there. And if when you check out, you put in new bra 24, it will waive your booking fee if you don't live here. So we can do a virtual fitting. I will be with you just like I'm here with you right now on video. I started doing virtual fittings during the pandemic.
I remember that.
And that's one of the great things about this show that I was on. It was a diaries, and they let me do what I was doing in that moment to survive. And so I said, I want to do a virtual bra fitting. Please let me.
Do you find now that you're doing virtual bra fittings, like, you know, you're getting more customers because it's just not people local to, you know, your area in Georgia, that you're getting more people in from like all around the world?
75% of my customer base is not from Georgia.
There you go.
And not to toot, but that's how damn good I am. I got this. I was born to do this. I may suck at love, and I may be a terrible picker. And I'll be honest, I think that a lot of us think that once we're delivered somebody, that maybe there's going to be something that changes. Or maybe we've never even known what our love language is, and it wasn't discussed before we did the stuff. And now all of a sudden, the things that we're looking for are not present, nor were they ever gonna be.
You mentioned earlier, like, just to keep saying how great you are because you're amazing. You had mentioned, just like, you know, maybe 10 minutes ago about, like, you know, you doing for men, like what can you help men with?
Well, depending on where you are in your comfortability or your sexuality, I have a lot of men that like to wear women's undergarments that are completely straight.
Oh no,
And
that's a big thing. Guys like straight guys
that
love
is
that.
because the fabrication of it, the feminism of it, and it's almost like you want to hone in on that. And some of it is because they're straight freaks, but I think a lot of times it's they find solace in the softness of women's undergarments. Some might think it goes way back to childhood. You know, maybe there was a rough dad and a soft mom. I really don't know. I've never really studied the psychology of it, but I know that it's there. And then there's the, you know, front and center where we are now with people actually being able to talk about how they identify, or that there may be something that's gone awry, or they really want to be a woman and they've not gone through the transition, but maybe they're thinking about it. So I can do that.
That's your website, right, Molly?
Yes, LivyRayLaundry.com. I put it in the chat. Can y'all see it? I typed on the right-hand side of the screen, LivyRayLaundry.com. But the other thing is, I have a friend who is a designer in New York. His name is Roman Sipes, and he launched a lace sexy menswear line called Menagerie. And he just outfitted Lenny Kravitz and made him this whole custom lace outfit. And one of the comments was, if Lenny can wear it, so can you. You know what I mean? But when I posted that, it was 50-50, and a lot of women were like, oh God, and no way. And I'm like, well, girl, you might want to check your man's inbox, because he just messaged and said how much and what size does it go to. Because most of the guys' profiles that I looked at, just because I was doing a human experience, they liked it. And some women want their men to wear their underwear. Like, if that's your kink, it's your kink.
Yeah, I'm not shaming you. Hey, is it bra 24 the code, like BRA 24?
Yeah, new bra 24.
New bra. Okay, new bra.
New bra 24. If you put that in the promo code at checkout, it waives the booking fee.
There you go. New bra 24 right there.
Saying that, for anybody who sees this, the reason that we had a booking fee is because people were not showing up for their time slot. And I have other people waiting. So periodically, I'm not as booked as I was, but you got to show up, because if I'm showing up, I need you to show up.
Yeah. I mean,
if
you're
I don't
on the go 24/7.
If I don't go to the dentist, they charge my card because someone else needed that appointment time. You got to pay. And, you know, I don't think I'm this big star or anything like that. It's about respect, and it's about my time, and I'm worth it.
But it's not like, you know, your bra business came like because you were on the show. You were way involved with that. How many years before?
Oh, absolutely.
You had Double Divas, like, you know, you were already like on, you know, so.
And we were busy from the get-go as soon as I opened, because I had built such beautiful relationships with community, friends, family, and my former clients. So they came. They came. Because I always have networked and kept great relationships with people, for real. Like, that's a real thing. I've got people I could call right now that I've known for 20 plus years that I may not have spoken to in a while, but if I call them, they're going to show up. So
that's great.
You know, but back to the point you're asking about men, we started carrying beard oil. My girlfriend, Kumani, she makes beard oil. And
well, remember, like, the first gift you gave me for Christmas like 6 years ago was like the was it the nut,
the wood underwear, and then I sent you fresh balls.
Yeah, the fresh balls, that was the head.
Yeah. And why?
So
why did I do that?
Like, she does, because that
I did it because
the first gift Molly gave me was the
you're
fresh
awesome,
ball.
but we had just met, and I knew that, you know, not for nothing, because we've never even met each other except this way, but we're going to.
Oh, we will shortly, which we'll get to in a second.
But again, if you're a blogger and people are following what you say and what you do, okay, I just sent you underwear and fresh ball cream from my store. You're going to talk about it, and somebody somewhere, like church, is going to get the word and they're going to come and shop with me. That's the whole point of all of this stuff. So I say all that to say, we were having crazy success with Kumani's beard oil and her watermelon oil for your vajayjay and lickable cream, because I don't sell stuff like that, but it was going and moving so fast. And it's someone that was my client. Now I'm supporting her business. And someone else from 90 Day has a business. And John, he sells beard oil kits. So he sent one. And I'm like, this is freaking great. 50% of my customer base is Black women.
One of my mods pinned this comment from JJ, please. Pin this comment, mods. Go ahead. Sorry, go ahead, Molly. Because JJ said, like, can we share the stream? It's important for women to hear. And I think this is super important for women to hear, because you work wonders, so please pin this comment from JJ. Go ahead, Molly. Sorry.
But I was saying, so I have products for men, and that is what smart business people do, right? You engage with other brands, you engage with small business. I'm supporting small business, I'm supporting minority business, and I have products sitting at my counter that are no-brainers, right? Let's say you go to Joann's craft store, right?
Oh, Lord, not Joann's Crafts. Okay.
I love that place. When I go to Joann's, I'm not thinking about groceries. However, I've just been in there for over an hour and I'm hungry and I'm thinking about food. And what do they line the whole entire checkout line with? Snacks. And the one thing they do have that I can't find anywhere is these maple freaking goodies. Nuts, maple nuts. They're so damn good. So guess what? Joann gets me every time.
Well, it's like going to Best Buy. Like, you go to Best Buy. I love, like, Best Buy is my favorite store. And I go to Best Buy and they have like that, like zigzag, like, with candy, soda, fruit, like, $5 games. And like, I spend more in like the aisle trying to cash out
than I do in the store. A piece of tech equipment. That's my point. When you know sales and you know marketing and you know what you can sell, because I can sell anything, you put those things right at eye level at your register. And if women are the key buying makers for their men, why on God's green earth would I not have a counter full of men's products that they're going to buy?
Yeah, like, why would you sell yourself short for like 50% of the population? And like, when you said, I'm like, well, men sweat and, our balls get like, sweaty. So it is what it is. It's good. Like, men aren't usually used to products like for that. And I'm like, did she just send us ball stuff? But, it was great, and it's good that you keep both genders in mind, because,
women buy for their men. And you know what? If your man is and being in Georgia, so 50% of my clients are African American females. The other 50 are country white women whose husbands have beards. Why in the hell wouldn't I have a smell good beard oil sitting at the counter for people to buy? That makes sense to me.
You absolutely should. And as a business person, yeah, like, finding a way to cater to, like, you're known for bra fitting. Men don't have, tits. So you found a way to cater to men, and that's pretty admirable, I would have to say.
And I heard for so many times, like, because a lot of men come with their women, they're comfortable in my store. They're comfortable coming and they want to see their wives happy and they're sitting and waiting, and some come in the dressing room. But I just kept hearing, you don't have anything for men in here. So when I was at market in New York, I met with Roman. So I had some of those products. Now, those are obviously not for a man who is not comfortable in his masculinity or who may not be gay. And that's not to say that all gay men are wearing lace thongs.
Listen,
because they're not.
all men have sweaty balls, like gay, straight, or whatever. Like, that's what happens. Just like,
Hang on a second,
you
I
get
gotta
like,
find my
you get tit
plug.
sweat, right? Right.
Hey, Kinsley, can you bring me my charger for my computer, please? So will you help me while I talk to John? Sorry, I thought my battery was charged up.
No, it's fine.
But anyway, I say all this to say I might suck at love, but I'm damn smart at business.
You are.
And I'm damn good at boobs.
All right, let me circle back. So I messaged you because I saw in your story that you were going to be in Jersey, and obviously I live in Jersey. Everybody knows that. So why are you going to be here in Jersey, and when, and for what reason?
So,
and Wicked wants to know how old is Kinsley now?
She'll be 14 October 21st.
Wow. Oh my God.
And
That's
she is
insane.
absolutely amazing. I am so blessed to have such a fantastic kid. I have two amazing daughters.
How's Olivia doing?
She's doing fine. Her birthday was yesterday, and
happy birthday, Olivia.
There's, been a lot of stuff in the media about her as well, but I'll say this. Everybody goes through stuff. And I think the hardest decisions of your life are when you're in your early 20s. Because you either are working, going to college, or just trying to figure it all out. And I wouldn't say that the figuring out of it is easy if you have a mom who's on a crazy television show and you were thrown into a bunch of shit.
Yeah, that can't help.
But
well, let me stop you. Since you brought that up, how did you even get on 90 Day? Because you did Double Divas, and that was your show. Like, what led you to like being on 90 Day? Like, and did like you really want to be on 90 Day? Because you were so blessed and fortunate. You had a thriving business, and I would feel like going on 90 Day would be like a crapshoot. It's either going to like end good or bad. So, what led you to go on 90 Day?
I had no idea about the show. I don't watch television. I was always working or doing events or going places and being with my family. Like that I'm not a big television watcher. And I had met Luis, and we actually had been dating for quite some time. It wasn't like I met him and then boom, he was here. That was never the case.
Like you didn't date him to be like, I want to be on a show like most casts do now. Like,
No, absolutely not. I knew
Okay.
nothing about the show. We were in the process of trying to figure out how he could come here. I'd been dating him and going back and forth for over a year, and we had made the decision that we were going to be together. And in that moment, when I started the process of how to do a K-1 visa, I didn't know anything about this show. But my former partner came to work one day and was like, "You're going to kill me." And I'm like, "Why?" She said, "Because I watched this show and I love it. You don't watch the show?" And I'm like, "No, what is it?" And I didn't even know in that moment that the actual visa for spousal to get here was a 90-day visa. That's how very little I knew about the scenario. But fast forward, she's like, "Well, I turned you in, and you guys will be perfect for it because you're older, he's younger."
Wait, so are you saying your former partner like sent in you?
Yes.
To the show?
Yes.
So you oh shit. So it was your former partner that oh damn. Okay.
So anyway, but I mean, I didn't think it was anything going to happen with it. They reached out to me and wanted to do an interview, and they loved me. And obviously, the dynamic of the story was perfect for that because I was older, he was younger. I have two kids.
They love that shit.
It was a lot. But during that time, what I did was I went back and just watched a couple things to see what it was about. And I was like, "Oh, it's not that big of a deal. Okay." And then I was like, "Oh, wow. This show's got a lot of viewers, this is going to be great for business, right?
Right. I would
leverage
think that.
it for business, but I didn't initially do that just for the business. I really had a very real, valid relationship, and I didn't think they were going to do it. Like, what the hell, you know? And then I was like, they're going to think, oh, they've already been on TV. They want more organic people. But I developed a beautiful relationship with the franchise and the owners and the people. I mean, that's why I got flew to LA for the upfronts with Howard. I was on
I remember that.
doing interviews. You know, I was on Jimmy Kimmel, for God's sakes, because people loved me. Like Brie Larson, she said, I love you. I will fill in for Jimmy Kimmel if I can interview you and Jamie Foxx. And I was like, holy shit, really? Like, I still was like, what? I mean, I never even shared that until a while back. I found it and I posted it on TikTok because I don't even know what the hell's going on. And it went viral overnight. And that was from like 5 years and 55 pounds ago. But
And
even
like,
then,
make, like big shows like Jimmy Kimmel, like you know, not the Tonight Show, but like whatever he's on. You've been on a lot of shows. Like, you know, you weren't just like known for being on 90 Day. You already were established on TV from doing the Double Divas. You've already, like, you know, you already put a mark on reality TV before you started 90 Day Fiance.
right. And I still forget, like, people will come up to me. I mean, I was in Dubai and I was in the Museum of the Future, and these women were like, oh my gosh, it's Molly. And I'm like, what? I'm got glasses.
Wow, even in Dubai, that's crazy.
And it was an entire group of women that were from Africa. And before I knew it, there was like this big, huge entourage around. And I was just like, and then I was in the mall there, and this girl was like, what? I think that's Molly. And then, of course, she's American. I'm like, oh, have you been to my bra store? Like, that's the first thing that comes out of my mouth. I'm not like, oh, do you watch 90 Day? Who gives a damn? Who cares? Because at the end of the day, it's really about what I'm really great at and how do you know me. And if it's from that, and if you don't think I'm that great, that's okay. But I can fit you for an awesome bra. Like, don't diminish people to 20 minutes of that, because it really only adds up maybe 2 hours, you know.
So let me ask you a question. How do you feel? Because I know Angela is kind of going through this right now. How do you feel when people just say, like, oh, I watched her on TV and she's awful? Like, you know, and I don't think you're on contract with TLC anymore, but, you know, they say, you know, even on the post I made with you on Instagram about this show starting, someone had commented, well, I can't respect Molly anymore because she was on The Last Resort and faking being together with Kelly. But I'm like, and I responded to that person, which I usually don't. And I'm like, well, Kelly was also faking being on the show and loving her because they were on the show due to contractual obligations.
Well, I'll say this. I don't know that it was so much faking. I had to fake trying to be nice. And I know that didn't come across because everybody thought I was awful, but I absolutely did not want to be there. And we weren't together. We weren't there because we were together. We were there because we were trying to salvage, could we be together again and whatever. I mean, if people go back and watch from the beginning of that, it says we have not been together. And they were trying to see if we could restore that. And I knew that I couldn't, but we were on a contract, so I had no choice. And I'm sorry, but I didn't want to be there. I did not want to be there. So since I had to go, I took a bunch of really great lingerie and fit the girls. And that was the most awesome moment of the entire thing. I got to meet Angela. I got to meet Yara. I got to meet Kalani, and Liz and the other cast members like Jovi. And I enjoyed that part because if I went there with the mindset that these people are these people based on what I saw and talked about on Pillow Talk, then I too would be just like the fans, having a preconceived notion about who these people truly are. And when I tell you, I don't care what anybody says, because that everybody was like, oh, I'm friends with Angela or whatever. But if you've ever been around her, aside from the crazy, because that show will make you crazy, and then they will just put snippets. And I'm not saying that it's okay to lash out and do all the wailing on people and stuff, but what I will say is this: sometimes it's prompted. Sometimes you just got took there and you couldn't help it. Maybe it was alcohol induced. I don't know, because I wasn't there. But what I was there for was when she came to my store, and there was 2 girls that came all the way from Pennsylvania. And to the average person seeing these girls, they may have thought these girls didn't have a pot to in.
Listen.
Yes. Or that they were rejects, or that they were whatever, because they weren't what I think society would say are it's the most beautiful girls on the planet. Angela roped them up under her arm, spent the entire day with them, was telling them how awesome and beautiful and amazing. And she did that with every person that came through that door to see her. She did her autograph. She hung out. The people got profit. They had fun. And what I saw in that day, I really don't give a damn about nothing else, because I saw her in her true self form. And I know that she's been through crazy, and she's in reality, and she's had a wild life, but we all have. And she, to me, in that moment, came. And unlike other people who think that they're like maybe superstars in this realm or whatever, that told me they wouldn't do a meet and greet for less than X of thousands of dollars, she wasn't that person. She came to support me and to be there for those girls that she changed their life. They were forever changed from that exchange and me fitting them and her loving on them. And that's all I'm going to say about that. There's nothing else that needs to be said, because but that show, I was grateful. I mean, I got to pour into Yara. You think, right? People think that she's probably very confident because she looks great and she's posts herself in her sexy clothes. That's all right. She may have insecurities because she showed them to me in that show, you know, and I thought I loved her. And I thought to myself, out of everybody in this room, you are what most people aspire to look like. You're tall, you're thin, you're blonde, you got great new boobies, you know, and you know what she said to me? You have no idea what the standard of beauty is in the Ukraine. And when you grow up with someone telling you that you're not beautiful enough, it really affects you. So
Ow.
I had those moments with all of them. And it was amazing. And I would not take that back. And do I wish that I had been seen in a different light? Absolutely. But in my
No, you went from like America's sweetheart from the show to like villain, like, you know, like overnight. And everybody,
Well,
I always loved you for years.
every
Since your
good
first season.
Disney movie, honey. Every good Disney movie. It's
And
okay though. It's okay. You know, I I didn't want to hurt somebody there, and we don't have to talk about this anymore, but I have zero control. This is what I'll say. I have zero control over what they don't show.
And yeah.
But fine. That's all I'll say. I have zero control over what you don't see.
All right, so let's circle back to when I originally messaged.
Why we're supposed to be here? The TIT.
No, I love
the TIT. The TIT.
So October 19th, what's going on and who's going to be there? So tell me.
So about 2 years ago, I did a podcast with a girl called Pillow Talk with the T, and her name is Kiama, and she and I connected in such a great way. She's a full-figured African-American pageant queen who's super fun. And she had reached out to me because part of their mission as pageant queens is to surround a cause. If you're a pageant queen, you got to do your community work. And she knew that I help cancer patients. She knew that I serve on a board, and she knew that I have a mobile travel trailer and I can do a pop-up. So alongside the president of the New Jersey Full Figure Pageant Association, they invited me to come up and sit on a panel with some survivors and some other speakers. And they're doing a big walk on the 20th for breast cancer. And they asked me to come. So I'm coming to East Orange to Sisters Lovely Studio with the trailer to do the bra fittings and educate women and help the cancer patients. But it's not just for cancer patients, it's for everybody. And then I'm going to drive 3 hours north and go to South Glen Falls for the Pretty Hot Mess. And it's going to be absolutely amazing. And I am so pumped.
So on October 19th, so what's happening? Like what's going to be shown? Like, okay, so sorry, I'm going to be there on October 19th. I'm going to be at this event, and what can people and anybody, in my area, I have my friends that live here, like, we'll be there. Me and Cody will be there. What can people expect at this event on the 19th in East Orange?
I'm going to be honest with you. It's going to be like church. It's going to be like a really great vacation Bible school where you go and you get good snacks and good food and a lot of love, and you're going to be empowered and encouraged. And I'm going to profit you, and you're going to get to meet with other vendors and the ladies that run this facility and that do this pageantry work. And you're going to get to hear from speakers and meet survivors and just leave with education and a new bra if you want. So we're selling the time slots. And the reason that I do it on Eventbrite that way is so that everybody has their time, so that if all 40 people show up at once, it's not a cluster. So I need to be able to strategically fit you so that the time slots are built out and you're not just sitting there waiting. But even if you came, you're not going to be waiting. There's other vendors. There's going to be food. There's going to be speakers. There's going to be a panel and a lot of information about breast cancer and the awareness and what you can do to check yourself and maybe,
Is there like, a price to pay at the doors at all? Like, how does that work?
No, it's a totally free event.
Like, and this is I don't know who you are backstage. I don't know how you got this link, but I don't understand it. So it's a totally free event, and you're giving free bra fitting. So anybody who lives in this area, New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, Pennsylvania, like, in our little area here, come and support the cause. Molly is really doing God's work here, man. And I hate that people are just not giving you the respect that you're deserved. And it sucks.
Okay. It goes with the territory. I mean, when you put yourself out in the public and you have relationship in the public, I mean, there's people who are A-listers. I don't know. I know why Britney Spears spins around on the floor. Like, I get it.
Yeah.
I mean, one of the funniest things that I ever talked about was I was going to write a book. I am writing a book, which is, we could talk about that on another show, how I ended up with the rumor mill of a man that was married, but whatever. He has a publishing company. But I don't even know where I was going with that. Oh, like, this was the conversation. Where do famous people poop? Where, if you are going down the road and you're about to feel something explode, where do you go to the bathroom? If everybody knows who you are, are you Jay-Z and B and you got a bathroom in your Maybach? Like, what? Does Tom Cruise run around in a Sprinter van with a fully equipped shitter? I mean, that's been like a topic of conversation so many times, because once you're there, and I don't think I'm famous, I don't give two damns. Like I said, when people approach me, I'm like, have you been in my bra store before? And then they're like, oh my God, I knew it. I love that show. And then immediately I redirect the conversation. Well, since you're in my backyard, have you been to my shop? Because ultimately, at the end of the day, your ride is going to be done, or you can choose for it to be, which is what I did. I'm sure they would want me again if it had been differently. But I said, absolutely not. I'll never do this again. And I will never do any form of television if I'm not the executive producer, because I'm not going to allow someone to tell my narrative and leave out parts. That's it, And so,
well, it's funny that you just brought that up, because since I just put this live up, we spoke on, was it Friday, about doing a live together. There's been a lot of talk, a lot of rumors about what we might be going live on, and I heard that I saw a post from someone saying that you're going to be on the next spinoff, and that you're with Yolanda's ex, like Yolanda's ex, but you're not with him. And then there's another picture of you with a different guy. Can you explain your relationship with Yolanda's ex? For Yolanda was on the show 6 years ago. I love Yolanda Williams. That Yolanda. So
I don't know her. I've never met her. I've never seen her. I just know she had a stint on the show. I also don't know what this picture or whatever is, because that's my point. How do rumors get started? Who says what? Who believes what? What's going on? If you haven't seen it and you're not with me in the flesh, what is happening? People can have business relationships, exchange of things, products, brand deals, all kinds of stuff. I don't know why these bloggers, you tell me, John, what is in it for a blogger? Okay. To be putting things out, if you weren't there to witness it firsthand, based off what you heard, or the people in the streets that don't have facts or evidence of anything. So people will come here and click and watch and make your money.
Exactly. As a blogger, I've never tried, when I go forward with a story or something, it's because I know it's factual. I have never, as a blogger, in my entire 10 years of covering this show, ever put a point blank lie out there. Maybe I believed in something and it wasn't the truth, but that I'm always right. So there's that. But
look, I just got hot here. That shit strikes a nerve. Look how red my ear is. It's because the internet is the devil's den of disaster at times, because the snowball effect of what people want to ingest. If you're miserable or you don't know what's going on, why wouldn't you just get involved in the mess? Misery loves company. But I'll say this, not to avoid the question. I already touched on that earlier. John has a beard oil. He sent one to me.
And that's Yolanda's ex, John.
In my store, period.
That's Yolanda's ex, John, which Molly does now. Keep going, Molly.
That's all I'm saying. People will predict. They didn't know what we were going live about. We went live. We might have gotten off topic, but because you reached out to me to talk about Breast Cancer Awareness Month and that I have a bra store and I'm coming in your backyard and we're going to get to meet. So that's it, period. That's the tea. The T.
And then all of a sudden, all those people that I won't even name
the
them.
TIT.
The TIT, honey. That's why I labeled this live the TIT. And even today, I got stuff sent to me, and it's Molly with John, which is a business relationship. Molly is not dating him, and then they put Molly in a picture with a different guy who's not him. Are you one of those people that say oh, I don't know, all black people look alike, because that picture that was hey,
they definitely don't.
They were two different men, and it's crazy that because they're so desperate to figure out what we were going live on, that they just throw things together in the hopes that it'll stick.
Well, only thing that I'm sticking to right now is I'm coming where you're going to be, and that's it. That's the TIT, period. I don't know. I feel sorry for people that have nothing better to do Because if we focused on the goodness of what is occurring, the goodness of what is occurring right now, how much greatness. Oh, look with the hat to the side. I wish I had. Hold on, let me. Hey, DJ. That's my DJ.
There we go.
That's my DJ.
But
what up, Cody?
but
But
Cody,
I'm
you
going to
didn't
say
hear
this again. When you, just like what I just spoke on with Angela, right? I don't know what's going on. We don't hang out like that. I'm not friends with all of these people. When you do something good and you can spread that, why can't we start with that? Let's talk about what is going to happen and the impact that I can create, or that you might be able to help me do in your backyard for women that desperately need my help.
Well,
or
now, listen, you didn't hear this part, but I was asking, your mom has a double mastectomy, and she was over, because of all her bouts with cancer.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't want to get breasts again. And I asked Molly, like, what can you do with people who have double mastectomy? And like, can you give them like a chest? And Molly, go ahead. I'm sorry, we're repeating it, but it's very important.
No, I said I have the eye. I have background in body anatomy, building custom swim and the bras, and so I can build a bra. It's like build a bear, but it's build a boob, and I can make anybody any size. And not that any woman should have to be worried, but if you're going somewhere, you're going to a wedding, or you're going to an anniversary or a birthday party, like we as women.
Exactly.
Identify with our femininity from the moment that we have our first bra and our breasts come. So when you have this awful disease and now you don't know what to do and you're not a candidate for reconstruction, some women's skin is so thin from radiation that it won't hold an implant, or you don't have the coverage with your insurance, because let's face it, it's all a business. Yes. Which is why sometimes if cancer isn't present in both breasts, they only take one, and a lot of times it comes back in the other, because guess what? If they make you wait, then they can get their deductible again. And I'm lobbying for this. I'm going to be going before some very high government officials to talk about the importance of breast health in school education very soon. But I say this because they don't know. And as a woman, when you go into the doctor, it's not happened to me, but I have enough testimonies, and I had a little scare, but it was nothing. But they did a biopsy. So
thank God.
Yeah.
When you hear that, you don't hear anything else that they say. All you hear is you have cancer. So we don't know what the resources are. There's not enough people out here talking about what it is that I can do and some other specialty stores can do. You go to the hospital, they have this gift shop or a women's ward that has ugly ass bras and not the right forms. And they just hired somebody because they passed a test, but they've not spent the time on the ground really doing the work. So because I've done it and I've been doing it and it's my gift and it was what I was designed to do, I'm good at it. And I come with a dose of love, laughter. We're not going to cry today, and you're going to leave lifted up, and it doesn't matter, but I can build a boob. I can build a boob. Yeah.
I mean, my mom has no boobs. So, and she said that she will never, ever. She had the implants the first time she went through it. But then they had to remove them because she got breast cancer again. So she decided to just leave everything out, and she's just, nothing's there. And she wears like sweaters all the time because, she obviously, she's 65. She's not going to go through like another boob thing. And then what if it happens again? So like, she's like, just leave them off. I don't care. She had the hysterectomy and everything too. She's like, I don't need anything to make myself like whatever. But I know that she My mom's always been like a nail person. Like she'll wear like high heels and stuff like that. And she's
No,
a
his
truck
mom
driver.
was like a real but she was.
She's a truck driver.
But
She was a
very,
diva.
she's very pretty. She's very
No,
pretty.
my mom is beautiful.
Well, I think too, sometimes you don't want to do it or you just give up because you're just tired. And it takes a toll on you mentally. And I think
Oh,
that you have to address
absolutely.
yourself. And I know that because a lot of times when these women come in and they're in the dressing room, there's been several instances that I'm the first person that they've looked their self at the mirror in without their shirt, without their stuff. A lot of women avoid mirrors. And that's the thing. It's such a disservice to women because the insurance companies consider it cosmetic, but it's really much deeper than that. It's got so much emotional attachment. And I feel like if you don't know that.
She actually, she just puts on like a padded bra just to make it look like, you know, she has like a little of like a little, you know what I mean? Like a little something there, even though it's just flat chested, but her bras, they're all padded just, you know.
Molly can like, you know.
Well, I would love to do something for her. When we get off this live, you send me the info and I can help her. I would love to help her because
oh my God, Molly, that's so sweet.
I would love to help her. It's awesome. I mean, when's the last time she had something super beautiful? I tell women all the time.
Not in a long time.
It's your superhero cape underneath your clothes. You adorn yourself with beautiful things. So
yeah, and plus like now she's going through, you know, like stomach cancer and stuff like that. Like, so it's like another thing. So she just feels defeated, you know, and it super sucks because my mom's always been very just bright out there and just happy with everything, and like just going through cancer 3 times, and it's just
I'm gonna have John reach out and I will do something for her because it's so important. And you know, and maybe we'll end this live on this note. And if there's anybody watching, or even like your mom, right? There's certain things that happen to us in our life. Obviously, having cancer 3 times is terrible. I can't relate to that. And I'm not comparing that to being in the public and the scrutiny.
No, of course.
But at the end of the day, if you can not let that type of stuff take over your mental, and you can align yourself with people, and you guys too, because y'all get it. Y'all get torn on because of what you do, John, and it's messy. We all love a good mess, right? We love a good mess. But at the end of the day, when you fully know what you were made for, you know, cue Billie Eilish, what was I made for? I know. And I feel like that because I see people come in. I mean, I just celebrated a 60th anniversary with my aunt and uncle, and I had a husband bring his wife up from Florida to get her sexy stuff, and they all come in and they come together, and I'm like, you know, I'm not giving up hope. I'm just not going to use my picker. I'm going to let it happen when it happens, and I know what I need to look for. Because I love acts of service. You don't have to have a ton of money. You don't have to whatever, but I'm never going to not work and be busy and do things. So I just have to find somebody that has the same drive as me and is not going to get mad at me if I can't come home at 6 o'clock because I'm going to go hand deliver a bra to a mailbox of a woman that's blind and their daughter can't bring them down there and they don't have the $10 for shipping, because that's a true story. And that is who I am, period.
What doesn't define you is you being on 90 Day. What defines you is what you've done for all these women.
Yep.
You know, for years and years. And you have an amazing heart,
voice
Molly.
For people that don't have a voice.
And I don't care. I don't care. You know, the guy last night that was at this bachelorette party, like 10 people flew in. And they wanted to take a twerk class with Mooney, my friend, who was on with Chantel that taught the twerk class. We're friends. And
Chantel from 90 Day? Chantel?
Yeah. She did a twerking class with Mooney. He went with her to Greece. The guy that twerks, the really beautiful black guy that wears makeup. He's like the twerk master. But anyway, these people flew in for him. And then she said, Katie, her name was Katie. She said, the other thing I want to do is go to Molly's store. I want a bra fitting. We want to try on lingerie. So when they came in, it was so fun because it had such a dynamic group of friends, and she had her 2 gay friends, and one of the friends is a cardiologist in New York, and it was a safe space for him to be safe. You know, he probably has to be a doctor 24/7, and he probably gets scrutinized because he's a gay man, and he's, you know, not from, well, he's probably from here, but his family is not from here. I think he's probably Indian or from the Middle East or somewhere. I'm not sure. I didn't ask because it didn't matter. Because it was a safe space for him to be himself and twirl in a robe.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
So we had so much fun. So much fun. And that's what
Well, you said that, like, you had, I didn't mean to cut you off in a sentence, but I don't want to forget to ask you this. You mentioned the cast, like, and, you know, after, like, the tell-all from, like, the last resort, like, are there any cast members that you know, that you talk to, like, because, you know what I'm saying?
You know, back to the whole supporting other casts, whether they were a full cast, a part cast, a cast that on a little sprinkle, whatever. I feel like because I was on there for so long and I'm older and I had a business, a lot of people reached out to me to ask me to help them. And I did. Kobe and Emily reached out. He has an underwear line. They needed a manufacturer. I told him he could put his stuff on my website. We had hour-long conversations. I mentored them on how to start a business and build it in an underwear space. I just called Jovi and Yara because she's gorgeous, and there is a Ukrainian bra brand that I want to bring in. And I didn't know if I had to talk to their talent manager or them, but I have their number. You know, I've got Annie and David back in the day. She sent me a dress. I bought a dress. I promoted them. I love them. I reached out and said, hey, do you need a nursing bra? I fit Jamie in Columbia because she was feeling some kind of way, and she's precious. But if I meet her, post a picture, she showed me her boobs, I bra fit her, the world can take that narrative and all of a sudden say, oh, now you're going for young girls. Are you gay or whatever? Like, that's my point. Everything that's surface is not always what it seems on these shows. Like, don't let that determine your hatredness. Like, why do we hate so bad when you really don't know? That's all I'm going to say. You don't know.
It seems like after, you know, I've been blogging about this show since day one. I've been doing this for 10 years, and it just seems after Rona, everyone is so hateful. Like like, you know, I used to get mean comments, but now the comments have just escalated so high.
Well, I understand. I mean, I got a letter in my mailbox that said, kill yourself. How dare you?
Like someone mailed you a letter
not
and
back
said
the
that?
police or something like that. And I was like, I don't knock back the police. Yeah, they told me to kill myself.
Wait,
and I'm like,
Jenny says she's on your website, but you are 99% sold out.
no, this is the thing. Everything has to update overnight, and it's not. We have new stuff coming all the time, and we really prefer people to book appointments, because if you go just pick something that you think you are, it's probably not your size, because that lingerie is very size intensive. But I would love to do a fitting with you. And we have so much stuff that is not even on our website. And the reason is we like to service you, and stuff comes and goes so fast, but it comes in every day. So it's not, we have a very small store, and we are the facilitator of all the shipments. We don't just, and stuff is.
I think that's good, because, like, you know, some asshole could be, you know, they would sell the stuff like just selling it out, but you want to make sure that it fits properly. Like, you don't, most business people, it's like, here's my product, buy it. This size bra, and whatever. But you take the extra step to make sure that the bra is a proper fit.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, understand that there's still some catch-up work to do, because in this industry, for example, we have a brand called Kilo Brava that we love, and I had fit back when the show dropped this time last year. I had fit Liz in this blue outfit. Now,
Liz would add that, Liz.
Yeah, those blue bras were ordered at the beginning of the year because we have to order fashion colors 6 months in advance. It takes that much lead time to produce it. So I wasn't going to overbuy because you don't know if someone's going to love it, but it will start to be more because we already committed to a certain amount. And when it comes to certain fashion things, it's not like your other stores or boutiques where 10,000 people have the same thing. What? I can't hear you.
Cody's in tears right now. He's so happy that you would do that for his mother.
Oh, because that's who I am.
And I can't imagine like being.
I'm not saying I'm a perfect person by any means. I've done some things and made some mistakes.
No one's perfect, sweetheart, just like me.
Who I am to my core, I would, yeah. That's all I'm gonna say. But anyway, about the fashion, I'm not like, there may be one manufacturer in let's say China, for example, and they have one dress in 4 colors. And if you want to open up an overnight boutique, you go get it, you put it up on your site, and they'll drop ship you right then everything. The stuff that we have is created by corsetiers and bra manufacturers. And once that color is gone, it's gone. That they don't keep the same thing over and over and over again in just a few SKUs. So, but always reach out. We're a very small business. It's not always updated. And the bulk of our sales are not on the web because we like to do that virtual fitting and that personalized service with you. I have thousands of clients that I send lingerie to that I show them. It's like a personal lingerie stylist. Even if you're not looking for a bra, but you want, and I don't want you to buy something if you think you're a 2X and I know that the 2X runs small or it's way too small in the cut for your boobies, I'm going to sell you the size you need and tailor it if I need to. That's how we like to do it.
And you're the expert. Like, you don't take advantage of people. Like, so many people would have taken, buy this cup size. It's good. Like, and you want to make sure that everybody's happy.
And we want to ensure that you don't have to return it. And if you do, I want to see it on you before you send it back. That way I can make it right.
Right.
Yeah, that's what we do. We get on that video chat and we go to town all day long. Unless we're on this video chat. Well, I'm gonna. What's Cody's mom's name?
Betty.
I'm gonna help Miss Betty. Trust me. And you guys are gonna see.
He's like in tears right now. It's like and that's I can't imagine being a woman. And my mother-in-law had a hysterectomy, and then she had to have the double mastectomy. And I can only imagine that you don't feel like a woman anymore after that, right?
Well, for all the people out here that thought they were coming to hear something that isn't what it is and go back and make up something or whatever these people do. I don't know. I don't watch them like that because it's just not worth it to me. I wouldn't be on social media if I didn't have people coming to ask me how I can help them. I would shut it down because I'm not that concerned about other people's lives, to be honest. I'm just not.
And my mother-in-law lives in Florida, not that far from you.
Where?
Vero Beach.
Is that near Sarasota?
On the other side of the state, by Cape Canaveral.
Okay.
Over there.
South Park.
It's south of Cape Canaveral by a little bit. Sebastian, Vero Beach.
Oh, I can't.
He's like crying. He can't even talk
I'm
right
gonna
now.
be in
He's so
Sarasota in November.
Melbourne, like
like by Melbourne, like there,
30
like
minutes
in
south
that
of
area.
Hang on, I'm about to tell you. Anyway, well then our follow-up interview can be the TI tears because I'm about to hook it up.
And you know, oh baby,
Because it's
like
important.
he's so happy right now. Like you have
I
no
love
like
that.
it's happy and sad at the same time.
Because I'm so happy and I'm so upset.
You were really an angel, Molly, and like I
Oh,
know.
it's on the other side. It's like 3 hours, but I'm gonna be in Sarasota in November. And y'all just stay
We'll figure
tuned.
it out.
I'm tits on tour. Molly on a mission is a real thing, and I'm not letting this little
I think we're all crying. I'm sorry.
couple years of life shut me back because I was designed for something amazing, and I don't dwell in the crazy like that. I'm just not. It was there. It was purposeful for what it was, and now I know, and I'm good. And I think that it allowed me to restructure and get really focused. And that's why I know that I got my accreditation this past year. And I just won a grant from Comcast Rise for small business for my work that I'm doing. So that was a blessing. So Comcast is going to shoot a commercial and run it for 6 months. And out of 100,000 applicants, they chose 500. And I didn't think for 1 second they would pick me because I've been on television. But when you do what you do and you do the work, they did. So I'm very excited. So I'm going to be on your TV just in a commercial.
And guys, October 19th, East Orange, New Jersey. Molly, if you want to put some stories up in your IG, tag me in them so I can reshare them.
Okay.
And like me and Cody are going to be there. I have a lot of my friends coming to it, you know.
Barbie said, do you ship to Canada? Yes, I do. As a matter of fact, I have a ton of Canadian clients, and I am doing a pop-up there as well in Mississauga, which is near Toronto. So I'll be going to Canada as well. So stay tuned. Go follow me and go to my website and put your email in, and you will get all the details.
That amazing lady. Follow her. Because she is God's work.
You know,
I
just, we love you so much. We've always loved you.
I can't even talk. I'm sorry.
You hear him? He can't even see. He's like,
are you a Cancer, Cody?
No, he's a Taurus.
Oh, well, Taurus and Cancers are supposed to get along really great. Now,
Yeah. I'm an Aries. I don't get along with any of y'all. But
I'm a resident crier too, babe. It's okay because you can't help it when you feel it in your spirit, and it's okay to cry. And I think that's one of the biggest things. Like, you don't have to be a tough nut all the time, and accountability, and yeah. I love you guys.
I'm gonna smoke a cigarette because I need
Miss Betty is about to get boobified.
You hear that?
I'm about to boobify Miss Betty, baby.
I appreciate you so much. You're so amazing.
And Molly, I just hate
God, I love you so much.
all the hate that you get because of, like, you know,
beautiful, wonderful,
your scenes on the show. And everybody loved Molly. Everybody loved Molly every year for like 6 years straight. And then a certain person fell out and decided to go ape shit on you. And then the last resort happened. And like, you really did go from the most lovable person on the show to like one of the most hated, like overnight. And like I could not even imagine like feeling that way. Like, you know,
I'm not
like, what
even
the fuck?
really didn't talk about it. It's not. That's all I'm gonna say. It's just a not. I'm good. Everybody's good. We're gonna live. We're gonna learn. We're gonna be great, and we're gonna come to another state and lift you up.
We're going to be in East Orange, New Jersey on October 19th. It's for breast cancer awareness. There'll be bra fittings. It's going to be like, it's free admission. Anybody can come. So join us in East Orange, New Jersey on October 19th. Cody, I will be there. Obviously, Molly will be there, and a few of my friends. And hopefully It'll be a great event, and it's for breast cancer, and you know, obviously that's close to our hearts.
Yeah.
And Molly, is there anything else you wanted to say?
No, thank you so much. Have a great night, and I will see you soon at Fit Peak.
All right. Good night, everybody. So long.
Make sure you use your fresh balls.